Now there's some other views in being able to see CSS and work with CSS. So for instance, I've got some visual aids up here. Now we took a look at that with our table widths, but we also have a CSS layout background. And if we wouldn't have color-coded our containers, our boxes anyway, this allows us to see each item as a different color. So even my footer now has a color to it. Then I have my CSS layout box model. So what that does for me when I have that turned on, let me make sure that's turned back on again. When I click this box, for instance, I actually see the box model, a part of it. So I see where I have a margin, etc. My next one is my CSS layout outlines. So I happen to like seeing the outlines, but in this view, at least when I put my cursor over something is when I actually see the outline of the item, and maybe you don't like to see the outlines otherwise. So if you find that troublesome, you can do that. Now remember, we also have our live view. So this is what it's going to look like in a browser approximately. This is using WebKit to preview our page. And if I want to see where I've got some problems at, then I would go to my inspect view. And when I roll my cursor, yes, it likes to see, let's go ahead and switch it. It wants to see both the code and the page at the same time. And it takes my CSS panel and puts it over and lets me see the cascade, so that I can much more easily troubleshoot that particular section. So I see my header and some of my other contents. So when I put my cursor over that, my H2, I see that I've got a margin top and a margin bottom. So that is part of the problem in my page. So the same thing with my header and my footer here as well. I've got some of that as an issue. So let's go back over and uncheck live view and see our code again here. So we'll quickly add our footer information in here. So I'm just going to tab that over and we'll add some padding. And let's just add 5 pixels of padding all the way around. And let's just give that a color as well. And again, we'll make that anything that you would like. And let's get rid of that problem that we have in our headers, etc. So I'm going to find that up here, and I'm going to make a spot here for this. So I'm going to say H1, comma, H2, comma, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and a comma for my P. And I'm going to add my left curly brace. I'm going to hit my return key. Now what we want initially, we want a margin top of 0. And then I want a padding left, let's say a 15, and a padding right of 15, just so we don't want it all the way over on the right hand side of a container. And now I will close that back off, and let's refresh. And now when I go to my design and live view, my page looks much, much better. And then I can continue to style that page. So I hope that you found writing CSS really not all that hard.